process of abuse. Abuse is rarely an impulsive one-time act. Rather, it is a process that begins sometime before the actual abusive event. This following timeline illustrates the process, which may take from hours to months. Phase 1. Environmental stress. This stressor causes the perpetrator to feel inadequate or powerless in some way and moves him toward fantasy and or victimization to give himself feelings of power and control. It is important to remember that environmental stress may also include a generational abusive pattern. Phase 2. Fantasy. Power and control fantasies give the perpetrator a means of feeling good about himself without any risk. Reality doesn't give us much control. Fantasy gives total control. Phase 3. Self-grooming. The perpetrator begins to distort his thinking, to justify his actions, and to minimize his feelings of potential guilt. This includes seeing the victim as a sexual object, believing the victim will enjoy the event, believing he can get away with the abuse, etc. Phase 4. Victim grooming. Slowly the perpetrator sets the victim up for the abuse. He will begin to develop a close relationship with the victim and then little by little introduce increasingly sexual content into the relationship. This content will typically include non-sexual touching, sexual talk, pictures, etc. If the perpetrator is a parent, he may also insist on an open attitude towards sexuality at home, such as leaving bedroom and bathroom doors open, dressing in the presence of others, talking of sex. There is a betrayal of trust. Phase 5. Abuse event. The perpetrator now moves into the actively sexual contact that will often continue to be even more sexual. The line between Phase 4 and Phase 5 is vague and hard to define. Phase 4 is often as damaging as Phase 5. It is hard to distinguish which is worse, betrayal of trust or the abuse itself.